Yes, sir, it is audible.
Good afternoon, but I can see only 90 participants. So I want to start, but only 90 participants are there. But anyway, we stick to the timings. So, and this lab session, the third lab session, and of course the final lab session. So in this, basically, we are going to cover three aspects of presentation here. So actually, if it is a face-to-face mode, it would have been better. But anyway, nevertheless, we'll try to show you what we are having at our lab at additive manufacturing. So as we know that NIT Warangal, we are the first people in India to start a MTech program in additive manufacturing. So we took the initiation this and we started from academic year 2014 onwards, and we have a very good response for this MTech course. The admission is through GATE. The admission is only through GATE. We don't have right now other sponsorship or kind of industry sponsor. Right now we don't have, but in future we are going to include that also. But as of now, it is through GATE qualification, through a normal admission into NITs. There is a common this one, you have a common counseling. So through that you have to get the admission. So what we are trying to do here is, so we are going to give a lab tour first. So what we are having in the lab, and then that is the first part of it. And the second part is, yesterday we have showed you how to generate a G code for the FDM machine. And during this session, we thought that at least we can give a demo for one polymer machine and one metal machine. Of course, metal machine is very costly and a very few installation in India, maybe a single digit installation in India. So then we'll try to give that also, but it is not a face-to-face mode. You may get not interactive, that I can understand, but we have to accept, right, for that. So then second one is, anyway, you have also had some hands-on this Cura software. So exactly what this Cura software, you already experienced it. So then once you generate the G code, and we are going to give that G code to the Ultimaker, the same manufacturer of the Cura developers, the software developer, the Ultimaker. So we are going to give a demo on the Ultimaker, and the third part is to give a demo on the metal 3D printer. So that is a powder bed system which can capable of printing in steel, aluminum, titanium, cobalt, chrome. These are the four materials it will directly support, or it can be upgraded to other materials also, like Inconel and other metal alloys also. And we are also trying to develop our own materials for that metal 3D printer for the powder bed system. So we are going to give a demo. Let us see how it goes. So that is the third session on the metal 3D printer demo. So then I will hand over to the Narayan Reddy to continue the proceedings.
So thank you, Ravi Kumar sir. So this is Narayan Reddy. I'm the research scholar under Ravi Kumar sir. Today I'm going to present the lab tour and the demo of the Ultimaker. See, the first we will see what hello. So today first we'll see at a glance what are the facilities we are having in our lab, and I will explain one by one later. See, this is my additive manufacturing lab. We are having at NIT Warangal. We are moving on to the plastic art lab. See, this is our lab. We are having the Stratasys mission, the dimension FDM, Ultimaker. See here, these are the list of softwares which we are having in our lab. This is the dual monitor working station, and one is the Stratasys Mozo. Other one is this is a Stratasys Mozo 3D printer we are having here. This is a dimension SST model. Here we are having a Ultimaker 3D printer, and we are having this is the Flash Forge Finder and Makeup Eye. This is the workstation on, and also we are having the scanner, and also we are having this the Pro Circuit, especially used for the MTech student for doing the lab session. This is a metal 3D printer which is having in our lab. This is a 3D system powered by 3D system DMP 100-plex mission we're having here, and also the workstation available at 3D printer lab. This is the workstation. Here we install 3D Expert 14.0, and we are moving on to the post processing lab. We are having the different post processing equipments, bands and powder shiver, muffle furnace, and short pinning mission, cylinders, everything we are having. This is all about additive manufacturing lab facility having at NIT Warangal, and I will explain you one by one in further upcoming. So this is a compressor testing, and also we're having this oven, the oven facility having at NIT Warangal. So we are coming to the explanation of the plastic part. So this is a Mozo 3D printer we are having at NIT Warangal. See here, this Mozo printer which can print the CAD STL file by using CAD STL file from the USB connected computer system. It consisting of, see here, there are two computer controlled print heads. One is for ABS plastic material, other one is for support material. The support material we are using here is SR30 material. See, this is the one of the print head material. Now see, we can see here, one is left side is a support, right side is ABS plastic material we are having here. See, this is the cartridges cartridges available for the Stratasys. This is the build chamber. The build chamber of a Mozo 3D printer, the build chamber is 127 by 127 by 127 dimensions. We can build, and its layer thickness we can build here is 0.17 mm. Here the slicing software we are using here is the Stratasys Print Wizard 1.2 we are using here. See, we can see this is a closed chamber, the build volume chamber of a Mozo 3D printer. And we are moving on to, these are the some printed parts by using the Mozo 3D printer. We can see here some mandible and the skull model. One is having the Ganesh ideal we printed in a Mozo 3D printer. See here, this is a post processing equipment for Mozo 3D printer. This is used to chemical treatment. This is used to remove the support material. So the support material in Mozo 3D printer is water soluble. So here, when we print the part from the Mozo 3D printer, we'll place into the chemical chamber and we'll pour the water and close this cap and wait for some time. The support will be soluble and we will get the directly part from the we'll get the part like this. This is about the Stratasys Mozo 3D printer we are having. Now the next is a Dimension SST 768 FDM RP mission we are having at NIT Warangal. This is also the Stratasys US model, and the maker is Stratasys USS, and The build volume for this mission is 254 by 254 by 305 mm, and the material is ABS plastic material, and the form of material here is a filament on spool. And the software we are using here for slicing is a Catalyst, and the layer thickness which are available in two variants. One layer thickness is 0.254 mm and other is a 0.33 mm. These two things we can select in Catalyst software. The energy source is here is a heated extrusion tip. This is also FDM based. See here, this is a part which we printed in FDM model. The one is a intake inlet manifold, other one is a wind turbine blade chambers, and the other is a mandible parts. These are printed in a dimension SST mission. The parts which are produced in this mission is very strong when compared to the Ultimaker. See here, we can move on. This is the if you open now, we are opening the build chamber. If you see, this is the build chamber. It's a very big build chamber, like says 250 means we can build a large parts by using the Stratasys dimension mission we are having at NIT Warangal. See here, this is the build volume I'm showing here on some parts, and also same here, the parts which are the removal of a support material is also same. We can do it is we can do like the water soluble or some material which are not water soluble. We can remove by using the finishing tools. We can remove the support material here. And this is the Ultimaker we are having at NIT Warangal, the Ultimaker mission, which is the technology is a fused filament fabrication technology. The print head is here is a single extrusion print head with swappable nozzle. Swappable means we can change the nozzle. We are having the different types of nozzles here. That is, one is a 0.25 mm nozzle and 0.4 mm nozzle, 0.6 mm nozzle, and 0.8 mm nozzle. See that as the nozzle sizes is increasing, we can build the large, the flow rate of a material can be increases, and the speed, we can build the parts very fastly here. So the dimensions of the build plate is here is 223 by 223 by 205 mm. So effectively we can print 190 cube. We can print by using the raft, everything without giving the raft. We can build 223 here. The filament here is we are using. See here, this is the filament we are using here is 2.83 mm. See here, we can see here 2.85 mm, and see, this is the filament we are using Ultimaker. This filament is 2.85, which is, see that for Ultimaker filament which is available the third party also, as well as available in by Ultimaker people. So here the filament cost is very less when compared to the Stratasys and dimensions. The cost of the filament in the dimension SST is around 20,000, whereas in the Mozo filament is around 5,000 to 6,000 is varying, but Ultimaker we can get it at 1,500 or 2,000 within the range which is available. And also Things 3D, they are supplying this material, so therefore most of them they are using the Ultimaker, and easy to accessible and easy to handle this mission. So here the main so here the accuracy is good when accuracy is about 12.5 microns is accuracy. The material which we can print by using the Ultimaker is PLA, ABS, nylon, CPE, some etc. material we can print, but we are using here is especially ABS and PLA we are using at NIT Warangal. See, this is the momentum. So this is the moment how we can move all those things. I will explain you the demo of Ultimaker, the upcoming. So here, the next we are move on to the so this is some finishing tools they have provided for Ultimaker mission. We can remove the support material. These are the parts we were printed by using the Ultimaker print machine. These are the different types of finishing tools which are used to remove any type of support material in a printed part. So this is the parts which were printed, like robotic arm, and the skull and some assembly part we were printed by using the Ultimaker machine. Next, we are going to the FlashForge Finder 3D printer we are having at NIT Warangal. So this is a FlashForge printer, and the FlashForge printer we are having here, it is also a fused filament fabrication technology. This is and also this is the filament diameter. The filament we can use that 1.75 mm filament, and the flash print slicing software we are using to slice that material, and build volume is 140 by 140 by 140 mm build volume, and the material is we are using here to fabricate the parts is PLA and ABS. The layer resolution means its accuracy. The layer resolution is varying from 0.05 to 0.4 mm. Such an accuracy we can produce. And see here, this is the part which were printed in a mission. See, this is the printed nozzle head, from the nozzle head where filament we can insert the filament which is having the 1.75 mm diameter. For this printer, the filament which is available with which is also around 1500, which is also provided by the Think 3D from the Vizag suppliers. See here, these are the part. This is the filament we are hanging into the supports. Those filament can be connected to the nozzle head and nozzle direct. This is the nozzle directly. We can print the extrusion based technology we are having at NIT Warangal. Next, we are having the ion scanner and design scanner, which are already explained by the Srikanth third 2 days back here. These are ion scanner. So it's an object scanner which is used to to see these are the reverse engineering purpose. When you don't know the dimensions of a part, we can scan the part and we can make the CAD model. See, this is a direct. When we don't have any CAD model, from reverse engineering technique we get the CAD model. So the next we are moving the sense scanner. This is the body scanner which is used to take an object, which is already explained by the Srikanth in the previous session. So now see, this is a Prusa 3D printer kit which is having at NIT Warangal. See that this is all this was explained by the K Rakesh yesterday, that DIY printer. This DIY printer we are using here for the students are able to assemble the 3D printer, and they are getting the knowledge about the functioning of a motor, and also they are knowing the Arduino software. The Arduino is a very essential to movement, wrap movement. Those things we can control here. This is a very see this movement. This is developed. This assembly was done by our MTech students. They are learning, especially they are having 5 modules of a lab at NIT Warangal. They are practicing it. This is a one more pro circuit we are having. There are 2 pro circuits we are having, and the student. These are the list of softwares which are available at NIT Warangal. Already the first one is the Materialize Mimics 18.1, which was already explained by the Sankineni Rakesh yesterday. The main purpose of the mimics, already you know that it is used to get the CAD model of a medical data. So we can perform the various operations like segmentation tools, and we can separate the part, and from the part we can convert it into CAD and STL file we can convert by using the mimics. And the next one is the Materialize Thematic 9.0. This is especially the software used to design the templates. The templates means, see that this is used for medical parts, especially when with help of Materialize Mimic we can design where the breakage for suppose that the skull is damaged during the injury, during an accident. So we want to design only the broken part, and we want to print, and we want to do the corrections. Those things before going to print we can do in the Materialize Thematic 9.0 only. The next software we are having here is the Stratasys Catalyst EX, which is the slicing software used for Dimension SST 768. The next software, which is the Stratasys Print Wizard 1.2. This is also the slicing software to generate the G codes for STL file. This is used for the Mozo 3D printer we are having at NIT Warangal. The next is the 3D system, 3D Expert Ultimate 4.14.0. This software is especially used for a DMP 100 flex metal printer. Here in this software, we can design a very simple components, and also we can generate the Fab3 files, and we can connecting to the system directly. We can give the printing. Some complex parts is difficult to we can make the complex parts in 3D Expert, but it is difficult. It's better to do the complex parts in any CAD model. We can do the CAD model also in the 3D Expert. It was also explained by the Rakesh yesterday. The next is the Flash Print 4.1.0. This is also the slicing software which is used for the Flash Force Finder 3D printer to generate the G codes. The next is the Ultimate Cura 4.5. This is used to slicing software and to generate the G code for Ultimate 2+ 3D printer at NIT Varangal. Most of them familiar, already they might be downloaded this Cura. These are the some complex parts which were printed at NIT Varangal in the various FDM machines, manifold and robotic arm. We have been printed here. One is the turbine blade and universal joint. We have been printed here. Some robotic arm, and also some heart model, bone, and mandible. See, this is a COVID mask. The COVID mask also we can print by using. This is the one of the model which were printed during the COVID session. This is the skull and mandible. This is the various things we were printed at using the FDM models at NIT Varangal. See, we can see here such a complex parts. Some parts also we were printed without support. This is one of the body object, body scan, and we printed. And these are the various parts. Some parts which are SLA parts, some white color parts. This is the SLA parts. This is the Ultimaker parts we were printed here. And this is some complex animal which were printed without any supports and without damaging the part also we were printed. And so these are some complex parts. See, this is how complex parts which were printed in a photopolymerization technique. So these are some complex parts which were printed. The next, see, this is assembly. This assembly also we were printed in as a single component. This is a universal hooks joint. This is a turbine blade which were printed by using the manifold, were printed by using the dimension strategies. So this is a Ganesh idol were printed with. See, now we are moving on to the 3D. We are moving on to the metal 3D printer, and we are having it NIT Varangal. This thing will explain by Banerjee sir. I will explain, but I will give the brief specifications of this mission. This mission is we are having here is a DMP 100 flex mission, 3D system made France, and its build volume is 100 by 100 by 80. That means 100 mm square. 100 by 100 is a square, and 80 mm is a height of a mission. And the material we are accepting in our mission is cobalt chrome, aluminum silica 7mg aluminum alloy, titanium 6, aluminum 4 vanadium, and 17.4 precipitation hardenable martensite stainless steel. These are they are providing this material, but we can do research point of view any type of material. As Sara already told you that we can use the Inconel 718 and 725. Such a things also we can use that. The layer thickness which is varying from 10 to 100 microns. Such a layer thickness we can vary. We can select 10, 20, like 30, 40. So however you want, we can select. These are the things we are having, and lot of parameters which are involved in DMP Flex 100 or any powder bed fusion system. Such parameters maybe we can speak as a laser power, spot diameter, scanning strategies, build orientation, scan speed. These are all such a parameters are involved, which will be explained later by Rakesh Banerjee sir. This is the workstation where we were installed the software 3D Expert 14.1, where we will do all those things and where we can do all the slicings, everything we can do here. per metal mission. So this workstation is capable of having 32 GB RAM and 4 GB graphic card, and it is a 1 TB hard disk which we are having. So this is see, now we are move on to the post processing equipment. See that when you build the part from the metal machine, we will get this is the part which were taken from the DMP Flex mission. So here, as we are taking out from the mission, the part might be having some powder particle. We want to clean that by using the brush. Everything we will clean. But even I want to improve the surface finish a little bit by using the sand blaster or short peening machine. This is a short peening machine. Here, this is the inside chamber. In the inside chamber, I placed a build plate along with the part, and so the environment for the short peening machine is here. Where the environment is here is Al2O3, that is abrasive particle and compressed air we are using. See, this is a, if you looking to clearly see that white color, the white color is indicating that aluminum Al2O3 Al2O3 abrasive particle. So we are closing this chamber while we are placing here. This is the, see that this is while closing, and will this inside will place that, and the nozzle, see here, in here the nozzle, and from very high compressed air which is coming from the nozzle. This nozzle, say let the pressure is here is a 7 bar pressure which is coming with a very small amount of a nozzle, and abrasive is there. So when such high pressure nozzle along with abrasive is hitting the surfaces of a parts, therefore it will be improving the surface finish of a metal part which were produced. You see, this is the hand gloves. We can operate, we can adjust that. This is used to control the air which is applied to the machine. So this is all about. Next we are move on to the muffle furnace. The furnace we are having at NIT Warangal. So we know that what is the purpose of a furnace. First we will discuss why it is required the furnace. So as we know that the powder bed fusion process, the high temperature gradient, and the process is a very fast cooling process. Due to the very fast and rapid cooling process, the residual stresses which are produced, and also very small amount of egg grinds due to the residual stresses, and very high hard material which are not directly applicable in the most of the practical situations, because when you use in the practical application, it is catastrophic failure will take place. So we want to reduce the residual stresses and any other thing, we want to reduce the residual stresses and improve the strength of a printed part. Further, we see this is a furnace. This is the inside muffle furnace chamber. So in this furnace, we will place a chamber. We can remove the part, or we can place the entire build plate in the furnace, and we'll place the furnace. See here, these are the controllers which are used to rise the temperature. So here we can rise the temperature 10 degrees per minute. The maximum temperature here we can the maximum temperature of this furnace is about 3300 degrees centigrade. And the furnace, so muffle furnace process, generally it is having 3 steps, that is heating, holding, and furnace. These are the 3 steps in any furnace. If you take any type of furnace, these are the 3 process. The mainly heating is used, so small grains which are produced, the heating is during the heating process, the small grains will combine to form the large grains. In the holding time is it's different for different material. We will hold the material to get uniform grains and uniform size of the particle, and we will do the furnace cooling. The furnace cooling here, the environment is an argon environment as well as a nitrogen environment. Here I will tell you the furnace. Here we are having the 4 material. For 4 material, holding time is different. If you look into the 17.4 pH precipitation hardenable material, its a furnace time holding time is 1 hour at 480 degrees centigrade. If you go for cobalt chrome, the holding time is generally 3 hours at 1200 degrees centigrade. If you go for aluminum, it is a holding time is around 2 hours at 270 degrees centigrade. If you go for titanium, 6 aluminum 4 NADM, 5 hours at 670 degrees centigrades here. After so we will close like this, and we will increase all those things, temperature control and everything. This is there is a display there, everything will display type of material and holding time, everything we can set here. After completion of those things, after completion of the furnishing, we will open the furnace and we will take out this part and we will go for cutting. So here the power saw, this is the power saw we are having here. So this is, sorry, this is the sieve shaker which is having here. See, main purpose of sieve shaker is used to recollect the used powder. As all of you know that the powder we are using in the powder bed fusion is a very costly. For example, if you go for titanium, so titanium 6 aluminum 4 vanadium, it's a 22,000 per kg. So here during the powder bed fusion process, when you are building the entire build plate, only 30%, 25 to 30% of a material is used for building a material for a complex parts. Remaining material is remaining material we will collect that. Such a type of powder we want to reuse. So here we are having the sieve shaker. There are two plates, upper and lower. See, this is the reused collected reuse for using the reuse. We are collecting the powder from the DMP flex machine. We are keeping on to the upper plate where we are pouring. This is the powder we poured in the upper plate, and lower one is upper plate. And in upper plate we are having the meshes to collect the powder. The lower plate is used to collect the material from the upper. So here, see, this is where like this we are arranging. This is the lower plate where we will collect the sieved powder in the bottom. So here, so this is a vibrating. So here the perceiving the vibration environment is the vibration environment. We can vary the amplitude. The amplitude we can vary in the sieve shaker is ranging from 30. We can vary 30 per minute, 100 per minute, like that. So maximum amplitude in our sieve shaker is 180 amplitude per minute. One thing should be remember that same mesh can't use it for all material. For different material, we want to use the different mesh because the materials are different. Per mesh, the materials will be sticking. So don't use the same mesh for same for all other materials. See here, there are adjustment of amplitude, minute, time, everything. We will set and we will stop those options. It's a very friendly and easy to operate the sieve shaker. Next is the bandsaw, which is used. See, the bandsaw is used to cut the material from the build plate. So here we are cutting. See, this is the band plate where we can see the blade, and there is some rectangle, some cube is there. There we can fix our plate. See, we are lifting out and we are fixing the build plate. We are fixing the build plate. So like this, we will fix build plate here, and we will switch on the bandsaw and we will remove the material like this. So here we will press the bandsaw hand, and we will remove the material. After removing the material, we will take it out. And so this is a oven. The main purpose of oven is see that already we sieve shaker the powder. That powder we need to place in a oven to avoid the moisture attack. When you are using the powder, reused powder in a DMP flex machine, we want to keep that powder in a oven 12 hours at 80 degrees temperature. Will so these are the different trays. This is the one of the powder. This is a 17 port pH we used in our machine, and we place here. This is the powder. See, this is a furnace. This is the furnace controllers. Bottom we are having. We can control that. We can start and stop on time, temperature, everything. They can be adjustable and it can be controlled. Next, so this is about the oven. The next here we are having the nitrogen and argon gases. So here I want to tell you why it is required. So this is so to run a mission, so we want to make the inert atmosphere. So for inert atmosphere for 100 flex mission, we are using the two cylinders. Blue color is argon and some gray color mission is a nitrogen. The argon is generally used inert atmosphere for titanium 6 aluminum 4 vanadium as well as aluminum material. For nitrogen gas is used for steel and cobalt chrome material. So this is the air compressor and dryer. The air compressor used to supply the compressed air to the mission. This is the connector used between. This is the connector used between the compressor and the dryer. Those are the pressure gauges which will be indicating which will be, this is a spanner to open and close the cylinder walls. These are to open and close the cylinders, and we like this we can fix that. This is the pressure gauges which is used to indicate the pressure of a cylinder. Everything, all are the pipe connections which were connected to the metal machine. So very complicated. Now we are move on to the parts which were printed. See that very complex parts which were printed. See that so if you see, this is one of the material. The material we printed here is all these three plates which were printed by using the 17.4 pH at my lab at NIT Warangal. See, this is some complex part, a ring and some director nameplate which were printed, and see this is some channel. See this is a very complex part. We can, without supports we were build. This is like some impeller design, some bone we were printed, and some complex part which were printed here by using the 100 plex DMP mission at NSC. Such a complex impeller without support structure we were printed. So this is all about printed part. See, this is a benchmark part we were printed 17.4 pH. We can see here every type of material were printed. So this is a 0 degrees, 50 degrees inclination, 40, 45 degrees, 90 degrees. The ring we have been printed. Some dentures parts were, some lattice structures were printed. Such a very complex parts were printed by using the by using 100 plex. This is these materials were printed with cobalt chrome, which were printed in our mission. This is a cobalt chrome printed material. We used all powders to know about our DMP flex mission. This is one of the material we were used uncalibrated part we are using here. This is a a medical part, skull implant template design. The lattice structure were printed, and some, see this is a nozzle. The nozzle, such a high complex part which were printed by using our mission. See, this is our mission we were printed here. This is the aluminum ID card. This is the aluminum material which were printed in our mission. So very light and very such high complex mission. It's a complex part which were printed without any support structure. This is a titanium made dentures. This is a titanium made dentures, and this is used to mandible connector. Some patient specific implants which were printed in our mission. So these are, see that these are all fine. These are the finishing tools we are using. These are finishing tools used to get high. After removing from the bandsaw, we want to get high surface finish. These are the different finishing tools we are using at NIT Warangal. We can also improve by already sir told you some laser finishing, something those things we can use that. Now we are move on to the Ultimaker demo, so which is having at NIT Warangal. This is the Ultimaker which we are having here, and Ultimaker printer. See, these are the various parts we can see here. This is a nozzle where this is nozzle is a swappable nozzle. That means we can adjustable nozzle. See here, the vertical one is indicate that movement where a vertical screw is there here. Now see, we can see in the top view, this is the movement of momentum x and y axis movement, which were controlled just for understanding purpose. We are showing that how it is moving here, and see that this is the next where the black color one, which is indicating that heating and cooling coil. The heating coil which is used to heat the build plate, which is used to build plate. This is the glass heated build plate. We can preheat the build plate. This is the vertical screw. This is used for, this is for the momentum of a glass, the momentum of a build plate. Now we are move on to the holder. Now we will, so when you are switch on that Ultimaker mission, see there is a three things are there: SD card connection and altimeter display and push and rotate knob we were seen very clearly. Now when you are switch on the altimeter machine, those things will appear. So here there are three things which are appear now. So this material can, this altimeter, now we are switching that it's going to the reference position. The nozzle head is moving to the reference position. Now the first step in the altimeter mission, we want to load the material. So here there are different types of materials are available for the altimeter. Now we are loading the material such as the PLA material we are using at NIT Warangal. For we want to load the material, for loading the material so see it's reversing the loading the material. So here we are moving to the back side of altimeter mission. So this is a holder, spool holder, and see the white color is indicating that that is a feeder, and feeder is having some white color tube that is called Bowden tube. See holder, the spool holder, see we can see this is the feeder where black this is the altimeter material we are feeding to our mission. We are feeding to the our mission in the back side. This is the spool form, this is the altimeter mission. So this this material is a 2.85 mm diameter, which we are getting from the altimeter people. So here the initially we will remove the some part of a material to get a sharp edge to insert the material. Now push and rotate button is there. There we will select the option we want to change the material. So in that material we see that different types of materials are there. We are selecting the PLA material by using the push and rotate knob. The push and rotate knob, and we are selecting. So here they are displaying showing that heating the print head. So that is the print head means the nozzle head is heating. We want to wait until the heating of a nozzle. After getting the heated, we want to gently push the material into the feeder. See there is a feeder is there. In that feeder we will insert the material. So when you are inserting the material into the feeder, just gently push that, no need to push very tightly, just gently push that. After getting nozzle is heated, it will take automatically, it is a completely fully automated. The material, see that from the Bowden tube the material is coming. So here display will show, the display will shows that here the insert the new material from the back side as ready. Your the insert the new material from the back side, your machine is ready. So we are selecting the forwarding the material, and we are selecting the material. So it will shows the forwarding the material means the material is pushing from the Bowden pipe. So we have to wait until that will till wait the material will coming out from the nozzle. So when automatically coming out to the nozzle, so we can see clearly there is a material which is coming out from the nozzle and see this is the material which is extruded out from the nozzle from the due to high temperature. It is a extruded filament from the material is the filament is extruded from the nozzle. Once it is ready, now our aim is to see this is the SD card. So we already Rakesh is explained about the Srikanth and Rakesh both were explained how to make the CAD model, and from the CAD model STL file was generated, and explained that they generated the G codes. That G code file we want to directly take, no need to use any separate printer to the altimeter machine, just we can use the SD card to make a print. So this is the push button. So we are selecting that. See this is a SD card. We are from the SD card we whatever the part we want to give the print and send those files to the SD card in G code format, not in STL or not in any other thing. So those G codes and everything was generated in the Cura software, which was explained Rakesh earlier yesterday. Now I am inserting the SD cards where I can now SD card I inserted, and I am selecting the print. There is an option which is there, print material and maintenance, where print will allow the material to print our part, and we have to select our part and we will do the printing. Where the option material is there, that is used to change the material and material modifications. Maintenance is option is there, that option is used to leveling, the adjustment of a build plate and leveling and calibration of a build plate, everything. Those are the options for maintenance. Now we are selecting our part from the push and rotate button. So very user friendly, and we can easily select our mission. We can easily select our part by using. So heating up. So here heating up and preparing for the material. So it is a tuning, and now our print is going to start. Now a little bit of just once again little bit of a material at the end of a build plate which were extruded from the nozzle. We can see here just 1 or 2 minutes which was extruded, and after that our printing. See, this is now printing of a first layer was started. From the print head the material is extruded, and it is building layer by layer by layer by layer which was printing. So here like this, it's a printing will takes place in any in a Ultimaker extruded machine. See, now here is a the time remaining to print our part. It will shows very clearly any problem is there, any disturbance is there, those things also will specify, and machine automatically will stop. There is no wastage of a material here. So time left, they're showing that our part is 3 hours, which is continuously building. And the part which were given here is the skull part which were given here. These are the various finishing tools used to remove the support structure. See, this is the part which were printed in our Ultimaker machine. This is a very small part. It's not exactly a very big one. It is a scaled part. This part were taken from the mimics, which was explained already earlier, Rakesh. From that part, CAD model was generated. From the CAD model, in Cura software, we generated G codes, and we printed this this part. We were printed here. And see, such a complex part without supports, we can easily print, and we were now. So these are the some projects. Which BTech student and some students and Ravi Kumar sir did at NIT Warangal. These are the various projects which were done here. One of the see in this video, one of that is design and manufacturing of a spiral intake manifold by using FDM process. So as we all of you know that what is the application, what is the purpose of intake manifold of an automobile, which is used to supply the fresh fuel and air mixture to the engine. So here what we did, so in generally the intake manifold is generally the straight, but here what we did is the spiral. We designed a spiral by using the one of the solid one of the CAD, and we were printed in dimension SSD machine, and we did a experiment in thermal lab. So here the thermal so volumetric efficiency was improved when compared to the straight one, which is a very good one done by our Ravi Kumar sir student. One of the project is a design and manufacturing of a rapid prototyping tooling for injection mold with conformal cooling channel by using the additive manufacturing process. As we know that what conformal cooling channel, these are used in injection molding. Generally in the conformal cooling channel, it's very difficult to fabricate in conventional process. So which were fabricated by using rapid prototyping, and made as such a complex shapes. So in the conformal cooling channel were fabricated with rapid prototyping by using the DMLS or DMP process. And the conformal cooling channel will improve the cooling time, and there is good products we can produce which were done at by one of the PhD scholar was did this work under Ravi Kumar sir. The next projects. So the next project we are move on to that. These are some projects which did here. So this is one. These are the some more projects which was did by some Ravi Kumar sir students by using FDM. The first, so it's not clearly, but the project that I will tell you the project name. The one is that the producing the thin walled cylinder head by using the sand casting So here we can see the first one is the cylinder head, which is having the fins. These are the cross section, the fins which are varying from 1.5 mm to 5 mm. So generally for producing this type of cylinder head, varying fin heads is very difficult with help of a CNC milling. It's taking the too much cost, and also it's taking the too much lot of time. A lot of time is taking to produce. What here our students did here, they made this type of cylinder head with varying cross sections of the fin in a FDM model as a pattern, and by using this pattern they are produced a cylinder head with casting. By using the casting was produced very less defects were produced here. And some of the projects which were done here, the design and assembly of a Baja SAE 2015 NIT Warangal Terran vehicle wheel hub which were produced. So in here what students did here is a CAD modeling and finite element analysis of a rapid prototyping. Plastic material was done, and they did some assembly. They done, and they tested with help of a plastic material. And once it is tested successfully, they made a wheel hub by using aluminum metal by using casting process. See, this is one of the 3D printing in oral and maxillofacial distortion osteogenesis surgery, which was one of the research project of Ravi Kumar sir. So this is the case, one of the case that is a girl of 8 years girl. She was having a problem of osteogenesis disorder. That is she's not she's having a problem of not able to grow a mandible, left and right mandible in the left and right position. In this case, in this case, they did a surgery for the mandible, and they were implanted some templates for getting the for proper adjustment of a lower and upper mandible. And after the surgery, she was able to open her mouth very freely. She was able to open her mouth when compared to the previously. What here really did in this project, just I will explain the steps. So here from the CT data, we have taken the CT data of her, and we did a mimics of we were in the form of DICOM images. These DICOM images were exported to the mimics, and from the mimics we did a CAD model. Those CAD model were printed with the help of a FDM mission. In the FDM mission printed parts, they have did some rehearsals how to overcome this problem. By using the with the help of FDM model, they did some they did some experiment how to how to eliminate these problems and how to fix these templates. All those things they were did, and finally it was successful, and this was implemented to her successfully, our Ravi Kumar sir team. So this is all about my presentation regarding to the tour and facilities which were having at NIT Warangal. Thank you, sir. The next.
Thank you, Narayan Reddy. Thank you, Narayana. Yeah, carry on.
So next, Banerjee will be continued the explanation of a metal mission.
Oh, can you
Hello.
hear me?
Yeah, Banerjee, go ahead.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I am going to describe about DMP-Flex 100. This is Banerjee. I am PhD scholar in NIT Warangal under the guidance of by Ravi Kumar sir. Now, the screen is sharing, sir. Sir,
Shared, it is not coming. It may take some time otherwise. It's not yet coming.
okay, okay.
Screen is not coming.
ఇప్పుడు వస్తుంది చూడు బెన్ను ఇప్పుడు వస్తుంది చూడు
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But you have only 20 minutes.
Okay, sir.
You restrict everything to 15 to 20 minutes max.
Okay. Yeah, this is Banerjee. I am doing PhD. I am PhD scholar in NIT Warangal under the guidance of Bhai Ravikumar sir. Give introduction about AM technologies. There are 7 AM technologies. One is powder bed fusion. Second one, direct energy deposition. Third one, material extrusion. Fourth one, binder jetting. Fifth one, sheet lamination. Sixth one, bed polymerization. And seventh one, material jetting. Already the detail about these technologies, Ravikumar sir explained. Now, based on the medium we use, we further classified into AM technologies. One is if we use solid material as raw material, we can categorize material extrusion in here we use wire form. It's like FDM. We use wire in the solid material, solid raw material. In case of sheet lamination, we use sheets in the solid material form. And in case of direct energy deposition, we use wire as solid material. And coming to liquid form, bed polymerization, we use resin as liquid form. And in material jetting, here we use materials in the liquid form. Yeah, coming to powder, in binder jetting, we use powder as the raw material. As well as in case of powder bed fusion, we use powder as raw material. In case of direct energy deposition, we use powder as raw material. Coming to laser additive manufacturing, mainly the laser additive manufacturing is classified into powder bed fusion, direct energy deposition. And again, direct energy deposition is further classified into wire arc additive manufacturing and laser metal deposition. Now, I am going to explain about DMP Flex 300. It is under category of powder bed fusion. This is the DMP Flex 100 we have installed in NIT Warangal. It mainly consists of control panel, whatever inputs we are giving through control panel, and also we can control the motion like carriage and powder supply piston and centering piston inside the process chamber. In case of lens window, laser assembly will consist of lens window, and here right door and left door. As opening right door and left door, we can access airlock system. We can put accessories whatever required inside the chamber for fixing the bull plate and cleaning the total process chamber. What means accessories we put in airlock. And coming to glow box, with the help of glow box, we put hand in it and we can fix the unload the powder and load the powder, and also we can fix the bull plate. And this is the DMP Flex 100 front view. These are the right door and left door. As I discussed earlier, it is the control panel. We can give input commands through control panel, and also we can load file as well. And coming to see, it is laser assembly, and in screen and control panel, as I discussed earlier, and front glow doors are there. These are the right glow door, and this is left glow door. Coming to stack light, here there are 3 colors indication: green, red, and orange. If it is flashing green, means the machine is running position. If flashing is orange means it is in stop position. It is flashing in red color means it is emergency condition. And generally in DMP Flex we create part. Yesterday Rakesh discussed about how to create part in 3D Slice Expert software. After creating part, we convert it into Fab3 file. Remember, this DMP Flex 100 only accept Fab3 files. Okay, these files is imported into system through control panel. After part building process will takes place, and finally we get final part. If you want to enhance the mechanical properties, then we do post processing. And the technical characteristics of DMP flex, here we use fiber laser and power is 100 watts. Scan speed we can vary 1 meter per second to 7 meter per second. Layer thickness can be adjustable 30 to 100 micrometer. Material we can use stainless steel, tool steel, non-ferrous alloys, super alloys. Presently we are using SS316L, cobalt chromium, alcan silicon, 10 magnesium and titanium 6Al4B. The build volume of DMP flex 100 into 100 into 80 mm. It is x-axis is can move 100 mm and y-axis is 100 mm. The z-axis is 80 mm. The loading system is semi-automatic. Here we have to load the powder, unload the powder, fix the substrate with the manually. That's why it is semi-automatic process. Here we use 3D Expert software and CAD read software. Here 3D Expert software only accept STL file, IGS file and step files. Coming to schematic diagram powder bed fusion, here in this process it consists of laser source and roller and powder delivery system and fabrication piston. Here the fabrication piston is rises by 1 layer thickness and the powder layer delivery system rises by 3 times the 1 layer thickness. Then the roller is moves over the process chamber to create the layer and laser is scan the layer as per required cross section, and again the fabrication piston is moves by 1 layer thickness, again the downs by 1 layer thickness, powder delivery system moves by 3 times the 1 layer thickness. Again the roller moves deposit the layer, laser scans the as per required cross section. This process is repeats until get the required part. And this is the inside the process chamber. This is the supply piston. Here no powder here, it is empty. This is the space, one is the space between the centering piston and supply piston. These are the overflow clamps. The uncentered powder can be go to overflow clamps. And before start, we turn on the main switch on the connection panel of the control and supply cabinet and go to switch the clocking key on the external control panel and go to open the compressed air and gas valve and start the machine by pressing the start push button on the external panel. Now this is the preparation menu where we can control carriage, roller, supply piston and centering piston. And here there are 3 submenus. This is the motion submenu. In this motion submenu, we can move the carriage forward and reverse, and roller we can move the forward and reverse direction. Scraper we can rise up and down. With the help of down and up arrows, we can move the supply piston up, down, and as well as centering piston as well. Here it is the atmosphere submenu. For creating inert atmosphere, we click on this. This is the airlock which is used for putting accessories into the process chamber, and it is unlocked for right and front doors. These are the 3 main reference modes we are fulfilling the build process: plate reference, powder bed, and inerting. And coming to manufacturing file loading menu, here we load the file whichever is required, whichever we design, and viewing editing pattern. Here we can edit the parameters like layer thickness and laser power, and also layer creation. If you want to create first layer with some like 30 micrometer and second layer with 40 micrometer, we can manipulate in this layer creation. In case of supports, we need low thickness, and in main part we need high thickness. We can manipulate in this layer thickness. In case of layer viewer, we can see how the layering, how the cross section will be, how the build will be completed. We can see through layer viewer. Coming to a preparation menu, here we click on unlock. We click on the to unlock the right hand front door, we can see glow door opening. As rotating palm grip, we can open the glow door. And airlock system. Here in airlock system, we keep natural fire brush for cleaning the powder and removing powder as well, and cleaning the process chamber. In case of tamping pad, we compact the powder after filling supply piston with 30 mm. Screws for fixing the substract plate, we use screws. Allen branch is used for fixing the substract plate, and tool holder is used for above all accessories. Airlock is used for keeping the accessories inside the process chamber. If airlock is facing operator side, means if grain symbol is indicates down position, the airlock is facing the operator side. Okay, then we can put what are the accessories required inside the process chamber. After that, as clicking on airlock, the green symbol move upward. Then the airlock is facing chamber side. Now this is the bull process cycle we follow. Now first one is bull plate loading. Second one is bull plate reference searching. After searching, the material loading and tamping, and powder layering, lens window cleaning, process chamber entering, and bull process starting. Now coming to bull plate preparation and cleaning. Before inserting bull plate through airlock, we clean the paper towel with degreaser. We always clean bull plate in the direction of grind lines to avoid residual of paper towel. Now coming to after fixing bull plate inside the process chamber, we have to ensure that there is no powder, no dust particles. Then we have to fix the bull plate in such a way that always grid lines is parallel to the roller movement. Now coming to bull plate reference searching, we have means bull plate reference searching means where the bull starts. It is reference position for bull plate. And here the standard plate we are using 100 mm. Now we are not using standard plate 10 mm. Then here we click no. I will show you through videos. And this is the plate reference searching. Window will come on control panel. And coming to material loading, as I told, airlock is used for loading the material inside the process chamber. And after loading the material through airlock, then manually with the help of glow door, we fill the supply piston completely. Here we can define the material and gas. Here you can see this is the reactive powder. Now if we use silicon and cobalt chromium, you can use nitrogen gas. If it is reactive powder, then you click on it. Reactive powder like aluminum and titanium, we have to use argon gas. Now coming to powder bed layering, we deposit layer in such a way that gaps must be filled and powder must properly cover the area between piston and supply pistons. Okay, this is the area. It must properly cover the area, and powder must be well smoothened on the supply piston. It's like this. A bull plate must be visible in transparency. And here we can fix the layer thickness. This is the 30 micrometer we are using for bull layer, and powder rising is 90 micrometer. Now lens window cleaning. For lens window cleaning, we open this window and with the Allen wrench and tilt the lens window and clean with aerosol, and after followed by a paper towel with degreaser. Now process chamber. After this layering, we have to create inert atmosphere. As I said earlier, this is the atmosphere submenu. As clicking on submenu, we can put set point 1000 ppm. This is the percentage, how much percentage it is completed, we can see here, and also how much gas flow rate also can see here. Coming to bull plate unloading and process chamber cleaning, here with the help of brush and using glove box, we clean the subtract piston thoroughly. Finally, you can find the final part. This is the how much bull time is taken place, and what is the part height and bull average gas flow rate. All things we can see here. Now I am projecting videos for your better understanding. Now we are checking plate reference. Now this is the plate. We click on plate reference option. Now we are going to sub menu. We are going to sub preparation menu. You can control everything with the help of this menu: carriage, roller, and supply piston, centering piston. And we can, if you want to put accessories, you can, with the help of airlock, you can do that. And we have to ensure there is no powder before depositing layer, as well as plate reference cycle. Now I am going to plate reference. In plate reference cycle, now we are not using standard plate. Now that's why we are clicking no. Clicking no, and you validate. After validating, the plate reference cycle will be start. Here axis initialization is done, scraper is rising is done. Now positioning the plate. We have to keep the plate at boundary level. Okay, means where the bull starts. For that, first we check whether the plate is at boundary level or not. If it is not, now we can observe, now see it is above the boundary level. Now with the help of down arrow, we can down the bull plate. Now he is downing downward somewhat. Now again using that downward arrow. Now validate, it is okay. Now search for the potential, sir. Now the carriage is move over the bull plate. If there is any contact between roller and bull plate, the shock will be observed. If there is no shock, now search for the zero position at 100 micro. Now the centrifugal piston moves upward. This move upward, again the carriage moves over the bull plate. If there is no shock, then again the carriage moves over the bull plate. This process is repeats until the roller touches the bull plate. If roller touches the bull plate, then it moves to next option. In this way, we find a reference cycle position. Here see, now search of the zero position. See, the carriage is moving over the bull plate for checking reference. Now it downs. Now it touches the roller, touches the bull plate. Now for finding fine position, the bull plate moves 10 micrometer. And this process is continue until check plate reference cycle. Now it is done. Now we move on to move on to deposing layer. Now we deposit layer. Now we have to deposit one layer, as I said earlier, without voids and cracks. Now you see the carriage is moving, but here the supply piston powder level is too low. Now we have to move this supply piston towards up. Now he is moving the supply piston. Now he somewhat is move up. Again he is moving up. With the help of powder bed option, he is raising powder raising. We can raise the powder. How much you want, you can enter here. Is rising now up to level. Now the carriage is moving over the bull plate. Still we are not finding any layer. This process, now he raises the supply piston again. This process is repeats until he deposit first layer. Now we can see how he deposit first layer without voids and cracks. Here see how he deposit. He again repeating iterations and moving carriage again over the bull plate. He is creating layer without pores and cracks. It should be transparent. Finally, it is done. Now coming to creating inert atmosphere.
Banerjee, you have only 5 minutes.
Yes, sir, I come. Now you see we are creating inert atmosphere inside the chamber. He put set point at 1000 ppm and he is switch on the regulation to start the process. Here see he switch on the regulation. Then he starts flow rate. You see, you can check here, this gas flow rate is started. Now this value has to reach to 1000 ppm to create inert atmosphere inside the chamber. Now finally it reaches the inert atmosphere. Here see, now it takes here also you can see time. It takes 22 minutes to create inert atmosphere. Now coming to file loading. Is not necessary. Now this how the DMP Flex 100 it works. We can see here. This is the carriage. This is the roller. Now depositing one. Now laser is scanning, fuses the metal powder as per required cross section. After fusing one layer, again the roller moves over the bull plate to create second layer. See now the roller is moving over the bull plate. It creates one layer thickness. And now again the laser fuses the metal powder. And this uncentered powder goes to overflow can. Now see the carriage is moving to create another layer, and again the laser scan the layer as per required cross section, and this uncentered powder goes to overflow cans. Now how we remove the pod, how we clean, we can see here. Now after completion of the cycle, we need to remove the unscented powder. Okay, we have to clean this unscented powder, excessive powder, each and the unscented powder at each and every corner. We need to remove powder completely throughout the process chamber. Now see, this powder is goes to overflow cans. After process, we can remove overflow cans and we can do sieving, and we can do preheating, as Narayana said. And see, this is the complete pot we get finally. This is the thank you. Any questions? Sir Ravikumar.
Yeah, okay. Banerjee, nice presentation. So, so before going to that quiz one, so let me give some announcement. So I can see now the full participation, like it is coming 112, but earlier it was only 91. Now it is 112, full strength. Okay, very good. So then